Hey, this is Trent Chapman with Short Sale Genius. Today I'm going to talk a little bit about SB 931. That's a new Senate bill that passed about a month or so ago, and it goes into effect in January 1st, 2011. Now, before I talk about that, just to kind of give a little background on what to expect with the new law that's passed. We talked about, for example, government intervention at HAMP and HAFA, different loan mod and short sale programs. And when Lee and I first talked about the HAMP program, we said, you know what, be careful, don't expect it to change the world. It's going to help out some people, but for the most part, it's not going to help out the entire market. Usually government intervention has limited effect because banks still have the right to enact or enforce or actually follow most of those because they're incentivized programs. And so HAFA, the same thing. If you do actually a Google search of HAFA 342, so it's HAFA 342, you'll see that it's not such a game changer a lot of people thought it would be. And actually, we called that back in December 2009. We did a conference call and said, hey, look, it's great that the government's going to try and help out, but don't expect the government to change your short sale business. You need to learn how to do short sales so that you can actually close them and not wait for the government to make it easier. So what's happened is the HAFA program's kind of fallen on its face as well. Now, Senate Bill 931 isn't going to be a bad thing, and it's not going to fall on its face, but it doesn't really do too much to change what's already here in California. For example, currently with California short sales, it's pretty easy to get a release of liability on a first lien transaction. Even if it's a cash out refi, second home, investment property, it doesn't really matter. The first, typically they know if they do a trustee sale, they have no recourse anyhow. So getting the liability released on a first lien in California has been pretty easy up till now. So really all this law does is make it so it's cookie cutter across the board that every first lien will release a liability through a short sale transaction. So is it good news? Sure. For those agents that don't know how to negotiate a release of liability on a first lien, it's great news. But if it was really going to help out the market and it really be something to shout about and say, hey, this is awesome, would be if they added in second liens. Now, if second liens were included in short sales, that any second lien that does a short sale has to do a full release of liability, then this would be a great law. And they tried to do that with purchase money, but even though they tried, senators, I guess, didn't understand that. The state senators decided, you know what, we're going to take out the part about making the non-recourse loan, such as a second lien that's a purchase money loan, and they took that out. So this law only applies to first liens. So for those that are doing short sales, yeah, it's kind of good news, but it's nothing really game changing. So you can take that information. If your clients are worried about a deficiency balance owed on any kind of a short sale transaction where it's a first lien only, those first liens will now have to get a full release of liability, even if you don't know how to negotiate with them. So that's a simple, it's a no-brainer now. So now all your clients should have a full release of liability on any first lien short sale after January 1st, 2011. Now I have had some questions about, well, does this affect my short sales I closed December 29th or right before the end of the year? And the sad fact is no, it doesn't. So if you didn't get a release of liability on any short sale you've done previous to January 1st, 2011, those first lien short sales are subject to whatever was approved. So if your approval letter says that they have a release of lien only and not a release of liability, technically that bank still can't come after your seller in those transactions. So SB 931 is a good thing for the general market, but for those that are already doing short sales and already had to negotiate that release of liability, it's not going to change too much of your day-to-day business. So hopefully you can take this information and use it for what it's worth and continue to do well through short sale negotiations. This is Trent Chapman with Short Sale Genius. Thanks for joining me.